Okay. Hi, guys. I am Amanda Warfield. I am a simplicity-focused content marketing strategist and copywriter, and I go live every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time to help other small business owners and course creators make a larger impact in less time with their marketing. And I'm so excited to be joined today by Carol Gavhane, who is the co-owner of the #1 subscription box for entrepreneurs, specifically female entrepreneurs, which I love, Sparkle Hustle Grow. So, Carol, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, who you are, and also tell us about Sparkle Hustle Grow.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Amanda, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So, Sparkle Hustle Grow. You know what? Before I go into the actual company and product, I'm going to give you a little bit of a lowdown on me. I'm Carol. I am located just outside of Seattle. I've got two little kids, and I am I'm not going to say an accidental entrepreneur. I'd always dreamt about it when I was young, but I that just wasn't the path that I followed. After high school, I went to college, majored in journalism, and spent over a decade in the advertising industry. So I've worked both client side and agency side, and I did that and kind of just worked my way up. But it never truly felt like it was me. I always felt like there was something more. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I just knew that probably wasn't the place that I was ultimately going to land. And I had baby one, took some time off. And in trying to have baby two, I just had a lot of difficulty with that. Um, that difficulty actually resulted in the formation of my first entrepreneurial experience, which was an intentional jewelry business. So, because of all of the struggles and the heartache of just trying to complete my family, I just went all in and thought, I'm not going to go back to corporate life, and I'm just going to see what happens here. And the idea of doing jewelry kept coming back to me because I had a really significant special piece that I had gifted myself throughout this whole journey. And this whole journey was years. It wasn't just like, oh, 2 months or 6 months. It was a years long journey. I started that, and that really called me, and I felt really connected to that. And eventually, my husband left too and joined me in that venture. And we did that for a few years. And fast forward, and together we still work together. But now we run something totally different. So, what we run now is Sparkle Hustle Grow. It is a subscription box, and it is for amazing female entrepreneurs. Hashtag best business expense ever. Yes, you can totally write this off. This is what I want people to know. This is a business write-off. And actually, a good portion of our subscribers do. So talk to your or your tax person so you can get the lowdown on that. But we're education at our core. You get the box delivered to your house every month. There's always a book in the box, other amazing products that support the theme. We have amazing guest experts like yourself, who will be featured. You will be featured in our next month's box. And then there's also a private community too. So it's kind of a three-pronged program. So you've got the products, you've got the training, and then you also have the community. I like to say we are where business or entrepreneurship and personal growth and development kind of meet. I really feel like you really can't have a thriving business unless you're doing and you've done a lot of the personal development work yourself.
Mm. That's such an important philosophy, and one that I think, you know, I feel like it's not talked about much, but then I also think, I know you said that you wouldn't use the word accidental entrepreneur, but those of us that, kind of, we maybe we thought about it as kids, but then took a different path, and then we ended up here anyways. Um, I know that I personally got really into that personal development, and that is essentially what led into the entrepreneurship journey for myself. And so that just feels so full circle of you really do need both. And as I'm thinking about it, the times that I feel most creative and in touch with my business are the times when I'm actually spending less time reading business books and more time reading other personal development books.
Mhm.
And I don't think that I've really thought that about that in all these years.
Yeah, no, there is. I really feel like there's a tie-in. And interesting that you kind of went the other route, like digging and probably unlayering, if that's even a word, uncovering
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all of the bits and pieces for growing yourself. And then that ultimately led you to your business, right? Um,
Yeah.
so you could approach it either way. But
Interesting.
however you end up here.
Right. And I felt very much like you did, where I chose, when I was a kid, I thought about it. Even in college, I like changed my major to business, and then I went back to education, and I kind of went back and forth between the two. Um, but I got to a place where I loved teaching, but there was that part of me, like you felt, was like, there's something more here. There's
Yeah.
something else I feel like I should be doing. Um, and that's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shani, hi. Thanks for saying hi in the chat. Also, for everyone watching live, I did link the sneak peek of the October box in the chat for everyone. I'll also put in the description afterwards later. They're only, as of going live, there's 7 days left, right, to snag
Yeah.
your October box.
You got
So, running out of time if you would like to do that, which we'll get to more of later, but just want to put that out there now. Um, man, what an interesting journey that you had. And I'm so curious, what do you think? Like you were like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna go full time with this business. And then your husband was able to hop in, and now you're still working together. Like, what do you tie your success back to?
Mhm. That is a really good question. It's probably a combination of things. It's probably so a couple of things and in no particular order. It's really believing in the end product. So that's what really drew me to this business, this subscription box business. It's I loved the idea of improving yourself, bettering yourself, like going, you have a personal goal. You don't have to shout it to the world, but just to yourself and just keep going, like keep moving towards that goal incrementally.
Mm,
And I think that is really the foundation. It's like growth, I think, is one of our core values. It's one of mine anyway. So it's like,
mhm.
how are we growing? How are we learning? How are we evolving? The person I am today is so different than the person I was 5 years ago. And and it's so silly because we ask kids, because they are kids, to declare their major at like 17.
Mhm.
It's too soon, but I understand that's like the way the system is set up. But so anyway, I think it's really the belief that this is such a good product at the end of the day. It's a really good thing that we're producing and giving out into the world. So we have that coupled with the fact that it took us a while to kind of learn each other's work languages, but we really do work well together. We have different strengths, totally different things that we do in the business. Um, we also have different like workspaces, so we're
Mm.
not like coworkers like sitting right next to each other. Um, and I think it's just the shared mission of like really wanting this to work. Um, I love to volunteer at my kids' school. And I want to be able to have that like that freedom. And my husband, has his own reasons for wanting to um, have this kind of lifestyle, if you will.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, we work out of our home, so like, and we do all the fulfillment ourselves. So it's like we are, yeah, so we are packing boxes and inventory operations. That's a whole thing. And
Yeah.
we do it all. The whole operation is run out of the home. And so it's a lot of different moving pieces that we've got going on.
Wow.
So
So
I think
every box is packed with love from the two of you.
correct. Correct. And oh my gosh, I am so like, is there enough like sparkly things that are going in? Because we have crinkle cut that goes inside and I want it to look a certain way. And so
Mhm.
um, that is still under our jurisdiction for the moment. But I
Yeah.
think it's just that common, that shared value of what do we want out of our lives? You know, you have one shot at this. What is it that you want to create? What do you want to do? And I think for so long I had a lot of fear just in general, fear that like I was going to go off course or you kind of just like that's how I was raised anyway. Like this is the thing that you do, then you do the next step and then you follow this like path. And that works great for many people. Um but I think that fear I felt a little what's the word? Just like I wanted to break free of that fear.
Mhm.
And so there came a point where it was like, what is going to drive me? The fear or me doing what I really want to do and just trying it out to see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
And many fallings down along the way, just, but you pick yourself back up and you just keep going. So
Yeah.
here we are.
I love it. Okay, so that resilience as an entrepreneur, holding on to that ultimate goal that you have for yourself. And then the first thing you said, I'd love to dive a little bit deeper into was loving and believing in that end product of yours. I'm so curious because I see this happen time and time again with other small business owners where there are so many different things that they could do, right? Like that's like the crux of being an entrepreneur is you can do anything and you know that. And so then you get stuck in this like, okay, but I could do this or I could do this or I could do this. And then sometimes we fall into the trap of I should do this because I see other people doing it and it seems to be working well, so on and so forth. And sometimes we can create products that maybe we don't feel as confident in as we should. And I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this because this was a business that you bought into, correct? This wasn't, yes.
Mhm.
So, how did you become, or how do you know, I guess, when it's the right product for you, the right offer for you? How did you know, like, this was the one I want to go all in on? I am so passionate about this. I'm so confident in this. And do you have any advice for small business owners that may be unsure about what their next offer should be?
Yeah, that's a really good question because you bring up such a very valid point in this world of entrepreneurship, which is I could do all the things and I see everyone else doing all the things. So where do I fit? And
Yeah,
how
where's
does
my
my
place?
offer, yeah, where's my place? How does my offer resonate with others?
Hmm.
And I think you know, I think it's really getting still. This is what I did. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of what I
Yeah.
kind of getting still and being just very honest and frank with yourself. So, there's that saying, know thyself. And for so many years, I knew myself, but I put on kind of a different mask, if you will, going to work, um, almost performing in a way, and I get it. Sometimes you just have to. If you work in a corporate environment, you have to do things. I totally understand. Um, but this gave me the opportunity to really not do that anymore. And this also took a little bit of time. So it's like
Mm.
I just really believed in for Sparkle Hustle Grow anyway, I really believed in the education that was being brought forth, the training, just like this all encompassing package for not thousands of dollars. Business coaching can be really expensive,
Hmm.
and that has a place as well. Um, but I just thought this is something accessible for people or people who are just kind of business curious, or maybe they have like a side hustle or they're just still growing and they don't maybe have the means to invest in a $10,000 program or whatever it is. This is a good taste for them to figure it out along the way. It's almost a journey of like self-discovery
Hmm.
as you really finalize and pivot your business because it's going to pivot along the way. And so to answer your question, I think it was just um, getting still. And this is something that I learned from, I'm sure many people have said this, but the one who really resonated with me who said this is Marie Forleo, fellow entrepreneur,
Hmm.
wildly successful. She did this on one of her podcasts. She was like, just get still, close your eyes. And when the thought or the offer or the thing comes to your mind, are you physically leaning in or are you
Mm.
kind of going back? You know? And I
Yeah.
think that was such a good indicator. Like your body will really show you the direction of which way to go. And so
Hmm.
I just kept leaning back into this. It was like, this feels right. It was the feeling. It felt right. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I love that, really listening to your body. Um, and as we're talking, obviously everyone here is watching as an entrepreneur. You know how these things work. You have the guests fill out a form and tell you things. And of course, you do your own research. And let's be real, I have been following Sparkle Hustle Grow since I started my business, like way back in 2018, I think. And so being part of this is totally a dream come true, which is just incredible and kind of overwhelming. But one thing that I'm connecting the dots here as you're talking is your love of personal development, and then the way that that shows up in these boxes, because, and I'll let you talk more to what people can expect and what the box is, but what I love about Sparkle Hustle Grow, I'm a minimalist at heart. Like um clearly um I like not a lot of stuff and clutter. And I love the idea of subscription boxes, but I can never get behind them because I'm like, I don't want a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
But Sparkle Hustle Grow isn't just a box full of stuff. It truly is, the focus is on that education and that incremental growth that you mentioned earlier, and taking our business and ourselves just that one next step each month. But yet, when you go and you look through the shop and you look through the past boxes, it's not just business stuff in there. There's a
Mhm.
lot of personal growth stuff as well. And so I'm just like seeing these like connections as we're talking of, oh wow, you can really see the way that your personal beliefs truly show up and connect with this offer. But I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself a little bit there. So could you kind of tell everyone what you can expect inside of Sparkle Hustle Grow? What I know we can't, the October box is still a surprise, but maybe you could show us the September box, or yeah, just kind of walk us through like what is inside the box.
Yeah, I would love, love, love to share. So, as I mentioned, there's always, always, always a book in every box, and every box is themed and it's usually based off of the book. Um, so we read a book a month. For some people, that's too much, and that's okay. And for other people who are just, book lovers, that's like not enough. And so I think the book is like the foundation of the whole box. Even if you don't read the book, this is what I always tell myself anyway, and what I tell other folks too. It's like, imagine if you got Sparkle Hustle Grow for 12 months. And so there's 12 books on your bookshelf, like there is on mine, right? But what if, and you didn't read every book because life happens and it's busy and we get it, all the things. But what if you had one takeaway from, let's say, nine of the books? So 9 months of the
Mm,
year. That is nine little things for you to build off of the next year. And like, how cool is that to be able to say that?
yeah.
I don't know. So there's a fantastic book. Um, like yours is going to be included in our October box. I love your book. Your book is so easy to read, easy to consume, and very doable. We get a lot of books pitched our way, and so my hats off to you for bringing
You.
this, birthing it, and
I'm like,
putting it out into the world. So
thank
that was
you.
kind of just a sidebar there. But so a book in every box. So this is your book. This will be in the October box. Amazing, amazing, really chock full of great information. So there's a book. I'm going to actually revert to September just
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
kind of have an idea. There's a book, there's always a workbook, and the workbook has a welcome message, a box packing list, so people know what's in the box, all about the guest expert and the training. And so, because every month we also have someone phenomenal to train our group, there's always a bookmark as well. And we always do a TLDR. You don't have time to read the book.
Mm.
We got you. These are, the 4 or 5 chapters to read or to look through. So this is the September box. We had The Family First Entrepreneur, written by a very successful entrepreneur. He started a business also with his wife, and I feel like they've crossed the $1 million mark. I'm not quite, I don't recall, but just wildly successful. Very easy to read. So we have the book. We have we had this really handy habit tracker notepad. We had, to keep you hydrated, some awesome water droplets. So you just drop them into water and it's tea. To go with the notebook, this really cool pen. It's a felt pen by Sugar Paper. They are women founded and women led. We try to put a woman-owned business in every box. And then these really cool affirmation cards.
Mm.
So you take one out, put them on your desk, shuffle them, and then pull out a card. And this one says, "My eyes are open to everyday miracles." So just something, fun, but a daily reminder of just keep on moving forward. So there's about 5 products. Did I count that right? One, two, three, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 products. Sometimes we have 6. And they're really intended for you to, move your day forward, move your business forward, move your life forward, maybe at the same time, um,
Mm.
but things that you would actually use.
Yeah. How do you choose what goes into each month's box? How do you choose the theme? How do you choose what goes along with each box? What does that process look like for you?
Yeah, it's quite a process, and it's usually fun. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but it's based off the book first. And from the book, we go to a theme, an overarching theme, and then we just find supporting products that actually fit. So we like to pay folks wholesale for their goods. We are not asking people to donate, for exposure or anything like that. So it's truly a curated box um, for people, for things, that they would consume, that they would use over time, or something that's just fun and inspirational. I feel like we don't have enough fun in our lives, especially as entrepreneurs. It's like sometimes the fun just leaks out of us because doing this can be hard. And so we try to put a little bit of the fun and uplifting spirit back in.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I love it. I can't wait to see the October box. I'm so excited.
I'm
Oh,
too.
it's gonna be really exciting. So, okay, inside of the box, the focus is really it's education, right? It's education, it's personal growth, but then you build in accountability, which is something that I think other subscription boxes don't do as well. And don't do at all. It's just often here's the box, here's the stuff, which is great, right? Like that's the offer. But I love that you guys are intentional about that accountability. Tell us more about how that's built into this system.
Yeah, so we have had, and I think it's been iterations over time of kind of what that looks like, but we do have, the training. It's evergreen. Sometimes some guest experts will come on and they'll host live workshops just for our group. So what a wonderful ecosystem that is to have a trainer like yourself come in and just teach us. I just feel like that there's so much magic to be had in that, sacred 45 minutes to hour. Um, so there are opportunities like that. There are, in the past, we've had actual goal setting workshops where we meet every month. We, in our private community, there's places to share and connect. Um, what I'm really excited about, though, is a program will be unveiled shortly where it is just actually accountability. And so we are super excited and super pumped for that to officially be announced. But I find that when you know someone else is on the other side, like waiting for you, like a friend at the gym, or I've
Hmm.
got to go to class because I don't want to be late because I'm going to walk in and everyone's going to look at me. When you kind of have that a little bit over your shoulder, it's like good stress. And so I think that's going to be another sort of program that we're going to be offering. And I'm super,
Mm.
super pumped for that.
Okay,
And that,
interesting.
yes, yes, yes. And that actually, can I share a personal story?
Yeah,
Really.
absolutely. Please.
So that kind of grew out of just this personal challenge that I had been doing myself. So I think it was just a couple weeks ago, I completed a 21-mile hike. And hike is a very loose term. It was like there were some technical aspects to this very long journey, like through the mountains, essentially. And to train for this, it's called the Enchantments. It's in
Mm.
Leavenworth, so this is in Washington State. And to train for this, I started meeting a girlfriend of mine like back in March. And we had a whole thing, every weekend when we were free, we would meet at whatever trailhead, and we slowly worked our way up to, I think our longest hike was 16 and a half miles. The actual enchantments was like over 5,000 feet of elevation gain. I mean, it was so hard. I started in the morning and I ended in the morning. Like this thing kicked me to the curb and back. And I think I had just a big aha moment. Like when I was training for this, it was like, if my friend Elaine wasn't waiting for me at the trailhead at 6:30 or 7 a.m. in the morning, I just don't know if I would have gone myself.
Did you hike this all by yourself and she met you at the trailhead?
No, we hiked it together. So we
Okay,
trained
okay,
together and we hiked it together.
okay.
So she was my training partner.
Hmm.
But if she did not meet me like during these training hikes, I
Yeah.
just don't think I would have A, trained as much. And B, I just don't think there's any way I could have honestly finished this. I don't know what I would have done like out on the mountain in the middle of the night, but I just found that to have someone waiting for me and knowing I had to show up, whether it was for me or
Yeah.
someone else, like it was kind of that extra oomph to get me over to the next level. And so I feel like there is so much beauty in accountability, right? And it's not this like hardcore, if you don't do it, you're going to get in trouble. It's like it really does come from a place of love, but boundaries. You
Mm.
have kind of a program around it. And I think there's so much value to that in entrepreneurship. If you
Yeah.
people are waiting for you, they're going to see if you did the three things you said you were going to do, like, why didn't you do them? What
Yeah.
what is happening? How can we help you meet your goal?
Hmm.
So anyway, that was
Man,
my big aha moment.
I'm just in awe that you hiked the enchantments. That's like I'm just like stuck on that. Uh, living in the Seattle area, but not being from here, I you hear people talk about it all the time, but it's like everyone around here hikes all the time, and that's like, I'm just in awe. Um, that's amazing. Okay, so I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. That's so impressive. And then you hiked basically 24 hours.
Yeah, it took us 20 hours. It took us 20. I mean, we braked, we had
Right.
food, we got water, filtered water, we had like bathroom breaks along the way, but
Right.
it took us so long. It just took us a long time. Even with all the training, it just took us forever. So
That's amazing. Wow. Okay. So training and accountability is what got you there, though, to this
yes.
huge, amazing goal. What do you, how do I want to phrase this? There's a lot of education out there, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of times we will join a program, we'll do this or we'll buy this thing, and then we just, it sits on the shelf and it gets dusty. What advice do you have for people who say they want accountability, but then
Mhm.
struggle to follow through with
Mhm.
being there for themselves and getting them to the point of even getting that accountability?
That is such a great question. You have to start small. I think so many people, it's like the New Year's resolution thing. We're like, okay, I'm gonna lose 25 pounds. I'm going to go vegan. I'm going to earn, an extra $25,000 in the next 6 months, like whatever the thing is. I, and yes, some people do that, of course, but I really think you have to start small. You don't
Mm,
run a mile, like you don't run a marathon just out it in a week, like you build up to it. And I think small goals that are like not just about, I'm going to get more Instagram followers. Well, how many? What is realistic for you? And I don't want people to feel shame for what they perceive to be a small goal.
mm,
Um, so if your goal is to get 15 new followers in 3 months, amen for that. Like, I feel like we don't talk enough about I feel like so many goals are big and just in the sky.
mhm,
Let's bring it down. Let's be real and let's say, what can I do this month? Can I read the book this month? And if I can't, can I read 65% of the book? Not even 75%. Like what is really doable?
mhm.
So being honest with yourself and going even setting not setting the bar lower, but just being very realistic. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I also love that you include okay, well, if you can't get to the book, these chapters are gonna really be great for you. Like I think it's so helpful for setting that realistic goal because yeah, we can look at a book and we can go, okay, that's a lot of pages and okay, well, it's not tiny print, but still it's a lot of pages and I have kids at home or I've got this or I've got that and I'm so busy. When am I supposed to read a book? I love that you guys have that built in. Well, if this isn't realistic, here's something that might be. So
Yes.
I love that. Um, what advice? Well, let me say this first. For anyone watching live and joining us live, if you have any questions for Carol about her journey, about hiking the enchantments, about Sparkle Hustle Grow, go ahead and put those in the chat for me because I've got just two more questions for Carol right now, unless I think of more, which I might. But just last call for questions. If you've got any, pop them in the chat for me. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs hoping to achieve success, whatever their version of success looks like? If you could kind of sum up your top advice, what would it be?
I think my advice would be to be clear on what your goal is for you, because success looks so different, wildly different for everyone. Write that down somewhere. Like what do you value? What does success look like for you? Have it visible or really readily accessible so you can always refer back to it. We can lose track a lot.
Mhm.
So to be ultra clear on what that is, and then knowing that you have to take action for things to change.
Mm,
Like you can read all the books and you can listen to all the podcasts and watch all the YouTubes and take course after course, but if you don't do anything, nothing will change, because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And it may change in your mind, but if you don't actually put forth that energy into the world, nothing will change. So it's like, I think Tony Robbins is the one who said this, like the 2% or the
Mm.
2 millimeter shift. I've heard, I think it's him who says something like, you're golfing and you take the swing and it didn't quite get there. So you shift 2 millimeters. It's like you've got the right vision, you've got kind of the right stance, but you just have to pivot a little bit. And I think it's just a combination of it being ultra clear to you. What is it to you? Not outside noise. Um, Taking action, and then always, always making those shifts. It's not instantaneous as much as I think we see it looks like for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that has not been my experience, like at all. Um, and it takes time because you're building and building and building. And that would be my advice.
I haven't heard the 2 millimeter rule before. And what I love about that is that it's a reminder that you're not as far away as you think you are either.
Yeah, totally,
Sometimes we think, oh, we're never going to get there. I just need to tear it all down. But in reality, that teeny tiny shift could make all the difference.
for sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know we can't unveil the October box. It's a secret. And I know we've already shared what the book is. Um, Anything else you could tell us about it? Maybe the theme, or I don't know. If the answer is no, that's okay too. But anything else you could tell us about it?
And so your amazing book is in the box, and your book is called Chasing Simple Marketing. And it's about how you can parse out content without having it take so much of your time. Time is such a valuable resource, especially as we work on our business. Um, so our theme is creating content for sales success, because we want this to equate to something
Mhm.
at the end. And we want that to equate to more money.
Yep.
So that's our theme. And one sneak peek of a product that we're going to have in the box is this really fun, cute pen set. I
Ooh.
love the colors, metal pens. It's by a company called Heartfelt. So they're a small, like family-owned business. Um, and so we love to support family-owned as well. Um, and I love what it says on the back. It says, "Hope your day is filled with cake and confetti. Have a happy day." So just, that little something to uplift you along the way.
I love that. Oh, I love a good pin. I'm excited. I can't
Wow.
wait. Thank you for sharing that. Carol, thank you so much for coming on and joining me for this live today. This was so fun.
Thank you.
I have loved. Oh, we have one comment. This has been so great to hear. I've been struggling with feeling like I'm so late there's to market and may have missed my opportunity to really grow. What would you say to that?
Oh, I would say it's never too late. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, and she just came out with this other brand, sneakers with a heel, which is very interesting.
Okay.
And I want to look into that a little bit more, but Spanx, like everyone knows Spanx, but I just saw a post the other day, and her mug said it's never too late. I'm a firm believer, like you can be any age, what's your goal? What do you want? You can do this. It's not always going to be easy. In fact, it may be more difficult, than other journeys or other ventures, but it is possible. So you're not too late. It's just, I think, getting that kind of organization out of your head of like the overwhelm, putting it down on paper and figuring out what can I do that's realistic,
Mm.
that will actually move me forward. It is possible. I believe in you. Other people believe in you. Like it's doable. So you can do this, and it is not too late.
I also want to point this person back to your earlier comments about really believing in your own offer. You're not too late to market because your offer is your unique offer. Don't worry about what other people have done. Don't lean into what other people have done. Lean into what you're doing and what lights you up and what you feel really confident in. And I think that's going to make all the difference. You're not too late to market. You're right on time for what people are going to need from you.
Love that. Yeah.
Carol, thank you so much. That truly it's been so nice to get to connect. Also it just feels so fun to me that my first ever guest on the YouTube channel is not that far away, which is just fun. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for having my book in the October box. I'm so excited. And again, for everyone who's watching this, the link to grab the October box is in the description. You only have a few days left to grab it though. So go snag yours fast, reserve your box, and they will be shipping out pretty soon, I think, right?
They will in just a few days.
Exciting.
So,
So
yes,
exciting.
thank you
Perfect.
so
Thank
much,
you,
Amanda. This is
Carol.
amazing.
Thank you. And we will have all of the links to Sparkle Hustle Grow, Instagram, website, all the places in the description as well for everyone to check out.
Cool.